Too young to trust a broker in a shiny suit. Learned real fast what a margin call would do. Had a paycheck, a phone, and a Robin Hood dream. Thought I was Warren Buffett off a meme stock scheme. Lost my rent on a candle that faked me out. That's when adulthood punched me straight in the mouth. We were broke, cocky, drunk on opium highs, living fast, blowing cash, telling ourselves lies down by the after hours. Learning life the hard way. Green candles feel better when it don't stay. Shorts get squeezed and so do we. Nothing humbles you quicker than IV. Yeah, we YOLO too hard, now we cope loosely. Learned about pain in the after hours. Skip class watching futures at 4 a.m. Heart racing faster than my overdraft again. Thought I'd quit my job by Friday close. By Monday morning I was selling clothes. Broker app sweating like a bad alibi. Every red tick whispering you ain't that guy. We chased that hit like it owed us rent. Every win felt earned, every loss felt rigged. Down by the after hours, feeling 10 feet tall until the bell rings and you lose it all. Diamond hands turn to paper real fast when rent's due and your luck don't last. Yeah, the market don't care if you're choosy. It teaches lessons in the after hours. Saw my ex with a guy who buys bonds. I was all in on dreams and zero coupons. Thought I'd age like wine. Turns out I'm dead, living proof. Confidence ain't profit yet. Down by the after hours, learning who you are when your net worth's lower than the bar. From bull to bear in a single tweet. That's the kind of whiplash that'll knock your teeth. Yeah, we still chase green like it's destiny, 'cause hope trades heavy in the after hours. Still here, still clicking, still dumb enough to try, 'cause tomorrow's always different, right?
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Kohrs Show, where we're going to be doing some fun live day trading today, covering some breaking market news. I'm going to give you a couple top picks of the things that I want to pay attention to, and I literally just got an alert that my connection was lost. I guess that's with NinjaTrader, so I should definitely be checking into that. But yes, it is not only a hump day, it is a cardigan, Mr. Rogers-esque hump day. This is more than just some attire. This is symbolic to we're going to keep our calm today. We're going to keep our cool today. There's no reason to just freak out, man, if you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I'm very excited. If you missed it yesterday, the S&P 500, the barometer for the overall market, hit a brand new all-time high. Yes, you heard me right, a new record high. And if you saw the update video yesterday, shout out to everyone in here, whether on Rumble, whether on YouTube. If you watched that update video, I hope you got a lot from it. I think it was actually a very, very useful one. But I laid out all the data, the dynamics, the empirical evidence of why I believe the highest probability pathway forward is higher. Now, of course, nothing is ever guaranteed in the market. I like to think of the market as an intricate root system, almost from a tree, and every single root, every single pathway forward has a certain odds ascribed to it. The pathway that high odds, low odds, that's how I like to think of it. And I believe right now that pathway forward, that root system forward, that pushes us to around 6,970, 7,000, not 700,000, 7,000 flat. I believe that is the highest probability pathway forward. Obviously considering price structure, price momentum, options flow, option structure, and seasonality. And also we have some upcoming events such as non-farm payrolls. We also have OPEX next week. Considering that all together, once again, I believe the highest likelihood pathway forward is 7,000 flat. So if you want more of the details of how I came up with that and that reasoning and whatnot, highly recommend you watch the update video from yesterday, wherever you're watching this right now, whether on Rumble or YouTube. It's literally the most recent piece of content, so feel free to check that whenever you want. Obviously today, things are looking decent in the morning. The overall market is calm. It's cool. It's collected. I think we're going to have a pretty fun day. I don't think it's necessarily going to be insane volatility because we have a decent amount of positive gamma, which we have not had in a hot minute. But we are getting some interesting updates in terms of individual equities. For example, I don't know how many of you, well, actually specifically a shout out to everyone watching on Rumble right now. Today is the official release of the Rumble wallet. Remember, all of you guys can sign up, download that for free. So Rumble stock looking pretty good in pre-market trading. I'm still obviously watching the AI trade. I'm paying attention to some of the IPO stuff coming out this year. A lot to touch on in terms of individual company news. But of course, in terms of taking a step back in the geopolitical landscape, we do have a little bit of movement of what's going on with Venezuela. That is spilling over into some drama related to Greenland. I want to talk a little bit about some interesting, I guess, for lack of a better word, political decisions recently. And then from there, that should honestly be bringing us to market open. So with leftover time, I see some people right now in chat, shout out, are asking some questions about individual equities. I'll try to speed through this so we can do a little bit of chart breakdown stuff right before market open. And if I don't have enough time, we'll do it right after market open. So just based on the amount of people saying, hey, look at this one, more than happy to break that down and give my 2 cents on the situation. But I'm still getting disconnect alerts, which seems a bit odd. Maybe I should try to reconnect here. I think it reconnected. We're going to be finding out shortly if this is working or not. But with all of that in mind, let me switch this up and get the show rocking today. Thank you for joining me at the crack of dawn, 9:07. So I have 23 minutes to get us all ready. Stock futures are little change after the S&P 500 Dow rally to fresh highs. Yes. Yesterday, S&P 500 hit a brand new all-time high. Now, if you're looking at the NASDAQ, it didn't, but it's looking strong. Put in a 1% gain. We still have that upside gap fill, and from there, we have the all-time high. Yes, I know some of you are watching individual ones such as gold, which is looking very strong, silver, which was looking very strong yesterday, taking a little bit of a hit, oil taking a hit yesterday because of some news related to Venezuela and 50 million barrels of oil, so I'll be covering that in a second. Crypto is on that edge of a bullish breakout, so I want to put that on your radar. We're kind of balancing right here. If it can form a higher low here, I actually think that's a pretty interesting opportunity. So in general, yes, equities are strong. Yes, commodities are strong, and crypto's in the world of it's starting to turn strong. So it's not completely bullish across the board, but right now, equities, commodities, super strong, and crypto not far behind. So right now, to kick off the new year, the bulls are clearly in control. So relating to what I just said about oil, and if you were paying attention to the overnight session in the oil market, CL is the futures contract. Once again, CL, those two letters together, is the contract for crude oil in trading the futures market. If you want to trade it, have at it. But anyway, it took a dump last night. Since then, it's recovered a little bit. But Venezuela to give U.S. up to 50 million barrels of oil figure would represent a significant amount of all the oil the country produces annually. Trump says Venezuela to send oil worth up to $2.8 billion to the U.S. And if you didn't catch it on True Social, highly recommend that not only do you follow Donald Trump, the sitting president, on True Social, but put on your notifications, because sometimes with respect to the market, this is actually the fastest way to get the information of what either is or isn't moving the market. Anyway, last night, I am pleased to announce that the interim authorities in Venezuela will be turning over 30 and 50 million barrels of high-quality sanctioned oil to the U.S. The oil will be sold at market price. So just the fact that this oil is going to be flooding the market, that's why the market dropped. Remember, price is just the equilibrium of supply and demand. This oil will be sold at market price, and that money will be controlled by me, the president of the U.S., to ensure it's used to benefit the people of Venezuela and the U.S. I've asked the energy secretary to execute this plan immediately. It will be taken by stored ships and brought directly to unloading docks in the U.S. Thank you for your attention on this matter. So that was an update pretty much right when the futures market opened last night, like the Globex session. So a little bit of movement there. I do want to show you actually right here a little bit of a Bloomberg piece. Let me make sure the audio is good for y'all.
Has carried out a series of airstrikes in
Bloomberg
Venezuela,
on this
capturing
whole
President
deal.
Nicolas Maduro and his wife.
President Donald Trump has said his threats against Venezuela, the U.S. military buildup in the region, and the destruction of civilian boats are about alleged drug trafficking. But there's another issue Trump has been talking about.
The oil business in Venezuela has been a bust, a total bust, for a long period of time. We're going to have our very large United States oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world, go in, spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure, the oil infrastructure, and start making money for the country.
Venezuela, on paper, has more than 300 billion barrels of oil.
But remember, it's heavy
Or
crude oil,
roughly
which is a more
17%
difficult
of the world's
refining
known
process.
Oil reserves.
Most of those reserves are in this vast deposit known as the Orinoco Oil Belt.
Orinoco
But there's
Belt.
even
There's
more
also a lot of
potential
iron
underground.
there.
The U.S. Geological Survey estimates that Venezuela has more than 1 trillion barrels of oil in place in the Orinoco Belt. To put it in perspective, the world, until today, has consumed about 1.5 trillion.
The chances are they are going to outlast the world's demand for oil, so effectively they are limitless at this point.
And there already is a U.S. oil company that's been operating in the country for decades.
Chevron produces about 25% of Venezuela's oil.
Quick pause there for this whole craziness in this particular story in general, the whole Venezuela-U.S. thing. It is right now, and this isn't necessarily set in stone, but it is right now assumed that Chevron will be the biggest benefactor and the biggest to gain from the whole debacle.
Today is the largest investor in the oil industry and in the country.
We are going to run the country until such time as a proper transition can take place.
All right, so I want to talk a little bit about that quote-unquote proper transition, if you will, because a lot of people assume that the Nobel Peace Prize winner, Maria Machado, Maria, who, once again, won the Nobel Peace Prize, seemingly had a lot of support from the people of Venezuela to be the next leader. Apparently not going that way. Venezuela Machado stole the world's attention. Now she has frozen out the opposition leader, and her movement went from the elation to dismay after Trump said allies of Maduro would rule the country. So I covered this probably on my first show back from break, that there was big concern of, okay, it's one thing to get Maduro out, but there's still a lot of Maduro supporters and loyalists and people of the same, I guess, mindset, people of the same cut from the same cloth who seemingly could be put in power. And granted, in terms of the list of people who would be horrific for them to be in power, none of those guys got in, but it's not exactly where the country 100% wanted. So that in terms is like a little bit sketchy, but it should be noted the woman who's being put in power, she is apparently at least an ally, if you will, of the U.S. oil industry. So that is something to consider, but I have a feeling that this story isn't necessarily over. And what's fun for us is it's leading into a whole nother wild story. Trump won't rule out military force to acquire Greenland. Trump weighs using U.S. military to acquire Greenland, according to the White House. Folks, you did not somehow get hearing impairment overnight. You are hearing me right. This was one of the official updates from the White House yesterday, that we have a quote-unquote range of options. President Donald Trump and his team are considering a range of options in order to acquire Greenland, including utilizing the U.S. military. This is from the White House itself. Trump has asserted that the U.S. needs Greenland for national security purposes, which is actually very accurate, pointing to Russian and Chinese activities in the region. It has to do with the shipping routes and the waterways. The leaders of Denmark and other European NATO states recently issued a joint statement pushing back on Trump's increasingly vocal desire to obtain Greenland. The reason Denmark is in there is because they technically own Greenland. So here's a little bit of a breakdown.
They are worried, and they really should be. What's kind of happened is that for a while, President Trump has been talking about taking Greenland. He kind of, signaled in lots of ways that he wanted to reestablish a kind of Monroe Doctrine. He talked about Canada. He talked about Greenland. He talked about Panama. But what happened over the weekend in Venezuela, that made it all very real. And then the fact that he followed that up by saying we absolutely have to have it is very concerning for the Danes. He also just before Christmas he appointed a special envoy to make it all happen. Special envoy to Greenland. That happens to be the governor of Louisiana, and that governor immediately said he volunteered for the post to make Greenland part of the U.S. So multiple officials have been pushing this line. They're obviously pretty high after the success of the operation to take Maduro in Venezuela, and yes, the Danes are really concerned.
Is it a serious test of the NATO alliance? Will the alliance be strong enough to survive this, given the serious worry that we're hearing from Mr. Fredrickson?
Come on.
If this goes, so this all depends on how Donald Trump goes about this. It's clear that he wants to do it, but there are lots of ways in which he can do it. So the most extreme option is just a military takeover. That seems rather unlikely. It's completely doable. Obviously, the U.S. has a military force. It already has a base in Greenland, a military base. It's very lightly staffed. But it could definitely receive large numbers of troops quite quickly. And if the Americans wanted to do it, there's very little that the Danes or the rest of NATO can do about it. There are many other ways for this to be done, though, in terms of, this is an autonomous part of Denmark. There are only 57,000 Greenlanders. They could be persuaded, and they have the right to vote for independence. They could then be persuaded to vote to join the United States. How would that be done? 57,000 people. That doesn't take a huge amount of money. There are other sort of less overt ways of doing this. I think the problem for NATO is that at some point the Danes may want to kind of up the stakes, as they've begun to do by saying, as Fredrickson said, if America tries this, that's the end of NATO. So they may use this as kind of try and use it as leverage, and raise the stakes, suggest to Trump that unless he backs off, it's the end of NATO. The problem there is how much is Donald Trump committed to NATO, first of all, and secondly, how willing and united are the rest of NATO to take the risk of having a direct confrontation with Trump when they are dependent on the United States for a reasonable solution that would ensure their security.
So the TLDR is this. NATO's in a tizzy because they realize they can't really do anything to stop the U.S. machine. But I was just listening to this now for the third time, I had an idea, and I want to pitch you guys this idea. So as you heard right now, technically Greenland is its own entity, but it's also technically owned by Denmark, but it's kind of like autonomous under Denmark, that type of a vibe. But that means that the 57,000 people of Greenland can kind of vote for what they want. They can vote to actually become part of the U.S. So here's an idea. What if instead of military interaction or the U.S. just kind of using the political machine to lean on NATO and Denmark and Greenland, dude, what if we just bottom off? I mean, I bet if it got put to a vote and Trump said, okay, if you guys vote and this passes, every single member of Greenland, I'm going to give $1,000. I'm going to give $5,000. To us, honestly, we spend more on Somali daycare fraud than we do on this. And if we want it, I bet we could literally just, if he just went out there and said, if you guys vote yes and it goes through, you all get $1,000. You all get $5,000. You all get $10,000. We could easily afford that. Like I said, our fraud is way, way worse. I bet we could just straight up buy it. Be like, all right, just vote yes and you guys are in. So that would be interesting because technically it wouldn't use our military. NATO can't do anything about it because they're allowed to vote exactly how they want. I bet they could actually legitimately do this. Just throw them $1,000, throw every single person $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, whatever. And I bet they'd be like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. And then they would get all the benefits of technically being a part of the U.S., similar to Puerto Rico. So this is going to be interesting. I know it kind of seems like a farce of like, why would Trump want anything to do with Greenland? It kind of seems like random and out there, but it truly isn't. If you look at how the world is laid out and look at those waterways, there's a very important reason why we have multiple military bases there, especially with respect to Russia and China using those waterways. So in terms of national security, I know it kind of just seems like I said, a farce, a joke, but it truly isn't. So I would not be in the slightest surprise if this particular story goes away. Like I think is actually going to get more important. Now, with that being said, I also want to make it clear that I by no means believe that it's going to come to U.S. military intervention. I think it's going to be decided just kind of like through the, I don't know, political backdoors, those shut rooms that we're never invited to. So I think that's going to play out. But once again, just an opinion. Why Trump wants Greenland and what makes it so important for national security. Greenland, a vast and sparsely populated, self-governing Danish territory, has been thrust into geopolitical spotlight once again. We need Greenland from the standpoint of national security. The U.S. president, who has been advocating for control of Greenland, could annex the territory by using military force, according to the White House. So yeah, of course, whenever something bombastic like that gets stated, the media is going to lean into it because there's just this idea of like, hey, it's beneficial for us in terms of revenue. We get more clicks, more of an emotional response if we continue to paint Trump as a dictator. Yeah, the White House apparently said we could use a range of options. But once again, if you're a betting person, if you go bet on Polymarket, the chance of this going to military intervention, it's so minimal. It is so incredibly minimal when we could, like I just kind of said, we could just straight up buy it. Resolution to block Trump from invading Greenland introduced by a Senate member. So whenever there's a little bit of fun, you can bet on one politician making it not fun. So a senator from Arizona said he will introduce a resolution to block President Donald Trump from invading Greenland, a self-governing Danish territory. Concerns about the U.S. action about Greenland have grown on the heels of the attack of Venezuela. Everybody wants us to have a bigger presence in Greenland to combat the Russian-Chinese Arctic influence. So it's a split thing. The whole thing's a little bit crazy, but it's kind of not crazy. So like I said, I do deeply believe that this story isn't going away. I think this is something we're going to be paying attention to. And I wouldn't be so surprised in the next year or two if somehow we have a new revised relationship with the geographical location of Greenland. Moving it on, this is still one of my most interesting stories that I missed because we were on break. Tim Walz was brought down by a scandal hiding in plain sight. The welfare theft scheme was public in 2024, but Trump and Republicans didn't realize its potency as a political attack. So Tim Walz, who as recently as September said, I'm running for governor again, and I'm taking on the machine. I'm taking on Trump. This is all BS, and we're going to make the country so much better. Well, that was September. Fast forward to the beginning of January. And he recently, 2 days ago, gave a press conference that he is in fact stepping down because of how incredibly bad the fraud is. So I'm sure you guys heard about the whole viral sensation of the Somali daycare stuff going on. And yes, that's seemingly very, very bad. It's if I pitch that story and some of the commentary of it and what these people have been doing as like a show to Hollywood, to Netflix, they'd be like, this is so incredibly unbelievable. But in fact, it is our reality. So I know that that's kind of taking the lion's share of media. But remember, the big fraud is actually in the world of healthcare, Medicare and Medicaid. It's actually so incredibly bad that the Medicare system has special rules for the state of Minnesota. That's how much it's been abused. And yes, it is bad. But the one thing that I find particularly irksome, if you will, is if we just take this fraud, we know it's not even the worst fraud. If you just generically multiply this out by most large urban areas, if you just include New York City, Los Angeles, Massachusetts, specifically Boston, if you just start to include a couple other major cities, think about the billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars that this is. Minnesota alone is representing more than $10 billion worth of fraud. Folks, when you start to wonder why your taxes are so high, it's because our government is so incredibly inept at managing it. They're just giving it away to legitimate fraudsters. So I hope something is done about it. I very much pray something is done about it, because as a tax-paying citizen, what the hell is going on? Trump administration freezes $10 billion in child family aid to 5 states over fraud concern. The Trump administration froze $10 billion in grant funds for child care and family assistance programs in 5 states because of serious concerns about widespread fraud. All 5 states targeted by the freeze, California, Colorado, Illinois, Minnesota, and New York, are led by Democrats. Well, maybe correlation isn't causation, but that is not looking good. The action applies to 3 programs overseen by the U.S. Health and Human Services Department's Administration for Children and Families, Child Care and Development Fund, Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, and Social Services Block Grant. So I'm hoping maybe this is a bull in a china cabinet way to figure it out. But I mean, sometimes when you have these cancerous cells, the best way to do it is just to cut it out. Unfortunately, I'm sure there are people who are not fraudsters who are legitimately in need of this. And my heart goes out to them, because they're going to be impacted by the other people, their neighbors, who are doing illicit, illegal action. So it's a tough situation without a doubt. But obviously something has to be done about it. Something has to be done about it, and someone has to be held responsible. All right, bringing it to the market for the day. That's kind of the major news. Obviously, I do want to dive a little bit into prep for the overall market. As I alluded to at the start of today's show, yes, we hit an all-time high yesterday, and I'm fully expecting us to hit another new all-time high today. I broke down my reasoning and the data and the math behind it in yesterday's update video. As I've already said, I highly implore you guys to watch that video, because it's basically my thesis of why we're going to slowly but surely grind up to 7,000 as we head into non-farm payrolls this Friday, and maybe even OPEX next week. But yes, we're at an all-time high. I do not believe that this one will stand for long. I do believe we are going higher. Obviously, when the market gets rocking, I'll show you the options flow, but for now, I could show you the current structure. You can see that the most positive gamma is right up here around 6,985.90. So that's going to be an interesting point today. And actually, you can see some interesting bets coming in right there. So big positive gamma node, 6,990. Just shy of that massive technical, psychological, and options level at 7,000. So I'm very much interested in that as an upper target for 0 DTE intraday trading. Obviously, as you can see right now, we're at this other giant positive gamma node at 6,945. So similar to yesterday, this looked at the exact same node as we were at 6,900. So I'm looking for this to serve as support at some point in the morning session. And then I want to see a rally up to the biggest negative node at least as of now. Of course, this could change throughout the day at 6,960. And then from there, maybe a little bit of a hiccup at 75. And then from there, 6,990. Another way you can look at that is I mark these all out on the chart. Feel free to screenshot this. Feel free to write these down. But as I always do, I mark out the previous high, low, and close. That is the green, the red, and the white line. Important pivot levels, important psychological levels. The white box is the transition zone, which I'm realizing right now my big head is blocking. Right here, just thought to be bullish above, bearish below, and choppy within from a market maker perspective. And then the final thing are the yellow horizontal lines, which just align with where all the big money is at. Folks, if you are trading and you don't know where the big money is positioned, you're going to have a very, very, very difficult time. So I highly implore you to either write these down or to learn how to read the tape yourself. But that's one of the beautiful things about trading options is there's no such thing as dark pools. Like, all this information is publicly available from retail all the way up to the most advanced hedge funds. We can all get this data. So it tells you where the big money is at. Are they long? Are they short? And this is why, in my opinion, spot gamma is by far one of the best tools you could use as a retail trader. But regardless, this is what I'm looking at based on momentum, based on, I guess, the structure of the daily chart, all the way down to the 5-minute, the 10-minute, the 30-minute, the 4-hour. I see no reason whatsoever to be bearish. If you are bearish right now, I wish you the best of luck. And of course, there's a non-0% chance that it could work. But in my mind, it's equivalent to betting on green. It's just not likely. Can it happen? Yes, but it's just not the likely bet. Right now, based on everything I have no reason but to be very, very bullish. And on that note, dingity ding ding ding, the world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all. Play responsibly, and if not, have fun. Folks, we are rocking for another day, and we just already hit a new all-time high. Love it. So as I kind of predicted yesterday, as I predicted this morning, I did not think yesterday's record high was going to hold for that long. And the first minute of today, we have already taken it out just like that. So new high, got a little smack there at 50. We do have support at yesterday's closing value of 45. Once again, just to kind of show you my first upward target, I'm actually looking at 960. That would be my bull case. And then, of course, if it does get smacked, and I'm not saying it's impossible, I'm looking for support at 35. Of course, as things develop throughout the day, we're going to be able to track options flow. Let me just get this ready for all of y'all. Remember, we just now have a minute worth of information, so it's not necessarily the end all be all. Not many trades have hit the tape yet, so we're just leaning into it. We're just getting ready. Remember, you don't have to rush any of this. We don't have to do anything too nuts. We don't have to lose our minds quite yet. Let me make sure that I have the options flow over here. Let me make sure that I have the options flow over here. All right, we are rocking, we are rocking, we are rocking. Folks, if you guys could be so kind by hitting that like button, maybe in chat saying hi to your favorite trading pal. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. All of that engagement is 100% free for all of you. And it very much helps out me and the team. It looks like someone already sent a tip to my Rumble wallet, but I feel like I missed the message, so my apologies for that. But I did get a notification that someone sent money into the wallet, so thank you. Sorry, I'm so sorry for missing that. Is the message in here? No. So someone sent a tip in. My apologies for missing that. It must have been when I was ripping it in the pre-market. So pre-market prep, if you will. My sincerest apologies, but that means a lot. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Tom from MySpace, where are you? That's a valid question. Hey chat, Matt is the man. No, you're the man. Pippi Longs. I like that name. Pippi Longstocks. Pippi Longstocks. All right. So I'm just kind of waiting for the open session to get going. I do want to remind you at 10 a.m. today, we are getting the JOLTS job openings and the ISM non-manufacturing PMI and prices. So at 10 a.m., 30 minutes into today, the 30-minute Orbo, right at the end of it, we will be getting another macroeconomic report. So not only should that add an interesting aspect, a lens to view the market intraday trading today, but hopefully we get to hear from our boy Rick Tilly. So 10 a.m., like I said, 27 minutes out. If I'm doing what I'm doing, maybe if I see a good the Qs are going green right now. I was going to say if I see a pop, I should maybe get in, but it looks like it might have popped without me. Very quickly, here's the current state of my accounts. I have my 3 FFN accounts. Actually, I have on this little $5 trade today, I did everything I needed to officially get to the FFN X level to go from eval to the equivalent of performance. So I'm just waiting to upgrade those. So I just wanted to show you guys that. And in fact, I could probably disconnect from those just so I don't accidentally trade them. But officially past those, going on to the next level. Stoked about that. And then from there, as soon as this disconnects, you can see that I have my 20 Apex accounts. Now, if you ended up missing the Apex deal, it did officially conclude at midnight last night. And when I say conclude, that was just the 90% off deal for the evals. Right now, the performance account, the $65 upgrade fee, I believe will be extended until Sunday. So if you manage to pass it, but you forgot to upgrade the account from eval to performance, you can still get in on like whatever the current deal is. So I just want to let you know about that. But right now, as I always do, I really have no specific loyalty to any of these firms because everything's changing. The situation's dynamic, and I know I've said it again, but I just want to keep reiterating it because I know at some point in the future, someone's going to be like, oh, this was your favorite one, and now they're going down. Like, how could you ever possibly be with them? No, folks, in my humble opinion, you should only be using prop firms where you believe you have the highest odds of success, the highest odds of making money. That's why we're in this game. You don't need loyalty to a particular firm. Look at the rules. Do you like the rules? Great. If you do, use them. Do you trust their payouts? Great. Definitely use them. If something changes, move on to another. The beauty of the rise in the popularity of the sim to funded prop space is now there's so much competition that you don't need to be married to any of them. Whoa, BTC bomb incoming. Yo, guys, check this out. This is awesome. Shout out. Look at this. The man, the myth, the legend. Folks, as I was alluding to today, you might see that Rumble stock, RUM, is a little green, and we got some big news this morning. Chris from Rumble, the founder, the CEO, the chairman, the man behind the curtain and in front of the curtain, dropping a $100 Bitcoin Rumble rant. BTC bomb incoming. Folks, quick round of applause for the man. Quick look at that. The leader of the company coming into the show, showing us what is up. Folks, I know we talked about it a little bit before the kind of winter break there, but remember, it's live now. If you have iOS, if you have Android, you can go get that Rumble wallet. So check it out. It's all over on the website right now. And if you actually want to read a little bit more about it, Chris this morning had a lot of information. So just go to Chris Pavlovsky on Twitter and you can see everything going on. But big partnership with Tether. Like, this is the big launch day. I highly recommend a lot of you guys check this out. But if you want more of the information, you can see there are endless things. Looks like, who is this article by? So this is from Tether itself. I saw there was a Fox News article. I believe that there's even going to be some interviews today. A lot of cool things. Rumble launches Bitcoin tipping for all 68 million users. Tether, obviously very stoked. They have a little bit of an ad here. I could play this.
I know many of you won't like what I'm about to say on this stream, but the truth needs to be heard.
They said free speech, then shut down your mic. They said your money, then froze your account.
Guys, I'm about to show you the campsite. Whoa!
You don't need permission to speak.
The old talking goat.
You don't need approval to get paid. Rumble Wallet is your fortress.
We're live,
No
baby.
middlemen,
Let's go.
no deplatforming, no one to cancel your tips. Not run by banks, not hosted by big tech. Rumble is digital freedom, is how you earn it. Rumble Wallet.
I love the goat.
The GOAT wallet.
That's hilarious. So anyway, today is the official launch day. It is on Android. It is on Apple. I recommend you guys all check it out. If you need a little bit of help with your seed phrase and whatnot, make sure you're just safe because you want to actually store that. You don't want to make kind of those rookie mistakes. But overall, highly recommend you guys checking out what's going on. And if I were to put this in a nutshell, obviously I'm well aware that the big news is the Rumble wallet. But folks, whether you're a content creator or a viewer, Rumble is as simple as this. It is putting the power in your hands. It's taking the power away from big tech. It is no surprise whatsoever, especially over the past couple of years. It is a facade from the realm of big tech of, yeah, we're here from you. We support you. We all know that is a complete farce. It's a good thing for them to say. It's a good lens they want the world to look at them through. But in reality, and I would love to be proven wrong on this, I deeply believe Rumble is the only company who not only says that, but they do it. Whether you're a content creator and looking to get your content out there and you don't want to be, censored in one way or the other, whether you're a viewer watching the content of the creators you care about the most, whether you want to send them the tips, time and time and time again, they are putting the power in our hands rather than consolidating it themselves, which is why for years now I've been a big supporter of Rumble and why I will be a big supporter of Rumble for years to come. It's truly that simple. And actually, speaking of that, I could show you a little bit of the buzz on the stock this morning. Nice technical breakout. So the market is already reacting. Obviously, it is helpful that Bitcoin itself is showing a bit of strength, especially ever since a little bit of the sell-off into November. But looking at Rumble stock, ticker symbol RUM, nice technical breakout of all these EMAs. Kind of this double bottom low. As you can see, I have an alert at 718. I want it to break out from there. And then my next logical target would be 788. I do want to remind you that I have Rumble stock. I'm not an active trader of it. The stock I've had for years, and I plan on having it for years. Of course, whenever I add to my position, I do let you know. I'll keep you updated, but I don't actively trade it. I don't really trade options on it. When I say I don't really, I just straight up don't trade options on it. So yes, I just want to let you know I do have it, but it's not really a part of my active trading portfolio. It's more so of a part of my longer term investment portfolio. So just wanted to let you folks know about that. And on that note, we just hit another new all-time high in the S&P 500. 500. So let me remove this so you can see what's going on. But basically, whatever you see as the intraday high today, with SPX, that is the new record all-time high. So we're looking good in SPX. And even this, the Qs took out yesterday's high. I do want to remind you that we're not actually at record highs for the NASDAQ, but we're getting close. And what I think is more interesting, crossing up, let's just move this out. I'm looking, my next target for the NASDAQ is the upside gap fill. So if you're looking at QQQ, you can look at 629.85. If you're looking at the NASDAQ index, you could look at 25,887. And if you are looking on NQ, there's actually no gap on that chart, but it would be in the realm of 26,250. That would be like roughly within the zone. So just to give you the rough levels on NDX, QQQ, and NQ, obviously they're all tracking the NASDAQ, but just to give you an idea of what my particular tech swing target would be, and we are already off to the races, folks. So Tesla's up, Google's up, Microsoft's up, Nvidia's up. Let me put all these green ones together right here so we can see very quickly what's green, what's red. Amazon is up. Rumble's actually on my watch list right now. Rumble is up the most. Rumble is up the most. What's that intraday looking like? Okay, so people are reacting to that key psychological level of $7 flat. Tesla is popping right now. Google, Nvidia, kind of watching that AI trade. Microsoft is taking off. Amazon, dude, I need Apple to go up for my one put credit spread, but I really need it to go up. I need this thing at like 270 today. Holy NQ, Batman. Yeah, nice pop there. I kind of wish I traded it. I kind of do. But I'm a little bit just torn on, do I want to wait for this 10 a.m. announcement or not? I'm a little bit torn. Sorry, I'm on the wrong. Oop, I disappeared. There I am. Now I'm back. I'm here. I'm gone. I'm here. I'm gone. Apple's upsetting me. It's in terms of top 5 companies that are just not performing right now, Apple is like clearly the odd man out, like without a doubt. It is the odd man out, but looks like we're getting a technical breakout on Google. Yes, that's nice. Cool. A recovery. Would love to see it above 322.50. Microsoft also firing off a signal. So looking for Microsoft to maybe get into the realm of 490. Amazon is continuing after its huge technical breakout yesterday. Apple's still sucking ass. Palantir still kind of trend up. I'm looking for it to go above 181. Meta just kind of going flat. Vago actually showing a bit of weakness. AMD. So semiconductors are taking a little bit of a hit, excluding Nvidia. ASML's ripping like no other. Walmart's looking decent. In Netflix putting in a rare green day. That thing has been getting absolutely pummeled. So right now, opportunity across the board, but I do want to remind all of you that we are kind of awkwardly waiting for the JOLTS job openings report, 10 a.m. Eastern, so we have about 17 minutes, and also the ISM and non-manufacturing PMI and prices, aka services. So services, PMI, and prices coming out at 10 a.m. Eastern. All right. How are we looking today? I think I got a little bit distracted, but just to show you the state of everything, here are all of my Apex accounts. I have not traded on them yet today. I did have a nice day. So starting off the week, I had a brutal day on Monday. I got tilted. I made really stupid decisions, and I ended up losing what was it, about 5.2K per account. Yesterday, I ended up making 4K of that back. I actually had the opportunity to make roughly 15K per account. The reason I didn't is I had to be cognizant of basically just their consistency rule, which is a pain in the butt to deal with. So I had an opportunity to not only make those losses back, but to make them back like multiple times over. But remember, there is that 30% consistency, and just based on the size of my accounts, it was something that I had to be kind of cognizant of. In all reality, I should have probably stopped at 3K, but I knew I lost 5K, so I figured why not just meet myself in the middle and go for 4K. So that's exactly what I did. So the accounts, they're not at the record high, but they're also not far off from it. Honestly, if I make like $1,000 on them. We're looking good. And I'm referring to all these big accounts. When I say big, they just have the biggest buffer of about 31 to 33,000. And then I do have the 5 quote unquote new ones, which are up about 1.2K each. I've only traded on these for 2 days. So I'm slowly but surely growing these bottom 5. And then obviously my top 15, I'm just trying to get as high as I can. My next potential payout would be Friday. So I'm still in that cycle of having to trade the 8 days. I want to thank everyone for subscribing to my mom's OnlyFans channel during her Christmas special. You are helping me pay for college, and Matt for these rants. Shout out. That's hilarious. Dude, sometimes I wonder if we're the weird community, you know? You know how all those other times that we're bagging on other people? I do sometimes legitimately wonder, like, maybe we're the weird ones. Maybe it's on us. Maybe we need to fix the way that we are. Here's a quick look at Bookmap. Are we seeing anything? Yesterday, there were so many just sizable orders. It was actually kind of crazy to see. That's popping a little bit right there. All right, a little bit of a breakout on that pop right there. New intraday high. And new all-time high there on SPX. Man, I wish I somehow... I mean, this was a good opportunity at 938. This was a good opportunity here at 946. Just, you never know where it's going to go. I'm just kind of pointing out the fact that it was reasonable risk. You're just playing it off of a recent swing low, which is not that far away. So I like it from a minimal risk standpoint. But you have to consider the fact that we have a binary event coming out at 10 a.m. It's either going to be good or bad. We had a similar situation yesterday at 9:45 where we got some S&P global stuff, and that ended up being good. And in fact, it actually kind of marked the low of the day at like 9:43-ish, and then we bounced and just kept ripping from there, and then it puked a little later, and then we bounced. But anyway, it's just... you feel really good. It's just like so much dopamine. If you get in before a news event and then it breaks your way, it feels so good. But just you have to accept the fact that you are flipping a very expensive quarter, because sometimes that quarter flip is going to go against you. So just be a little bit careful with that. If you choose to engage in it, I wish you the best of luck. Hey, once in a while, I'll do some degen gambling, and it's fun when it pays off, but maybe it's not something that you would define as your like core trading strategy. So I'm doing my best to be patient and to wait, especially after the last 2 trading days I've had. I don't really need to rush anything. If I see an opportunity, once again, it's all about just, can you get in with a low risk opportunity? At least that's how I view the market. And if you're waiting for that opportunity, I have 2 things for you. Number 1, folks, at 10 a.m., when we get these announcements in almost 10 minutes here, 10 a.m., we are getting these 2. JOLTS job openings, important. Services, PMI, and prices, also important. 10 a.m. Do you think that the market's reaction, and we're just playing a fun game here, is going to be bullish or bearish? Are we popping or are we dropping? I would love to know how lucky you guys are today. How good are you guys at guessing today? I would love to get your idea. So once again, 10 a.m., what do you think that initial reaction is going to be? And as I'm waiting to see what your answers are, because there's a little bit of a delay, I would love to remind you that right now, Apex is not running the best deal. The best deal of the firms that I trust is TPT, Take Profit Trader. You get 40% off for life and never pay an activation fee. Of course, that code Goonie. And then on FFN, same thing, 50% off, BOGO, and no activation fee. So you get 50% off. When you buy one, you get another one for free, and same thing, no activation fee. And as I said, like same thing here, code Goonie. So FFN and Take Profit Trader, TPT, FFN, right now, in my opinion, running the best deals in terms of the firms that I trust. And obviously the code Goonie will get you the best deal. All right. Unfortunately, will drop, bearish, pop. I bought 5 6-9 forward calls yesterday for tomorrow. Hopefully it pops and then rips. A 1.10 pump and at a 10:30 dump. So Supernova calling for a continuation up and then a reversal, very similar to yesterday. Bullish always. Strawberry blonde coming in as bullish always. Roll the beautiful bean footage. I don't know what that means, but okay. Bears will stick their nose under the tent and the bulls will stomp them. You're talking about a little bit of a curb stomp assault situation. Unfortunately, I can't watch the market today. I have to go buy a car. Hey, You're not allowed to leave. That's a demerit. Pickle me timbers. If you leave this stream to go buy a car today, not only will I be giving you a demerit, but the entire community will be giving you a demerit. How dare you believe moving from point A to point B is more important than hanging out in this digital internet cult we call Goonie trading? Praying for a dip to buy the swing. All right. Well, I'm praying for Apple to rip about $10. So let's see if that happens. And if you need a link for Take Profit Trader or for FFN, Nightbot's putting them in chat. It's in the description of the video, or you could just go to the websites and literally the code Goonie. If you go to Tradeify, if you go to Apex, if you go to FFN, if you go to Take Profit Trader, if you go to any of the firms that you've seen me talk about, it's the same code. It's Goonie. I just use the code Goonie for everything. It just makes life easier. Unless it's a Porsche. Okay, that's fair. Do you do XAU USD analysis? It's the same thing as gold, and gold pretty much is at the all-time high. We talked about it already earlier today, so you could just track GC. So we hit the all-time high in late December. It's showing strength right now. Higher highs, higher lows, strong momentum. We're seeing a pivot into these kind of risk-off bets. Gold is going up. Silver is going up. Silver almost tied the all-time high. Yeah, I mean, we talked about it. I guess you could rewind the stream a little bit if you want more of an in-depth breakdown. I don't have active intraday trades in this particular world, gold, silver, but I do have it in like kind of a swing update thing via Straight Beat, where I have a basically a metals strategy that just rebalances. So I've been getting some exposure to this upward movement, just not as much as I obviously in hindsight wish I had. Definitely not as much as I wish I had. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, mother. Oh, brother. Where are we at? We're at 8 minutes out. Let me get CNBC ready just in case they bring on the very good-looking Rick Santilli. The very intelligent, very good-looking, very successful. All right, so we have that up just in case they're bringing on our boy Rick today. And they better be bringing on our boy Rick, or we're gonna riot, dude. There's gonna be a riot in the streets if they don't bring on our boy Rick. So let's see. Tesla was pumping a little bit, got hit. Same with Apple, Google, Microsoft is actually looking decent. Amazon's also looking decent today. Palantir is once again looking decent. Do I have two meta positions? Well, that is weird. Meta's going... Wait, where was Meta? Meta is actually getting hit, but Palantir is looking good. Okay. Yeah, the only play that I'm concerned about right now for myself is my Apple play. This is just not shaking out how I need it to. And granted, I have time and I can roll it, but just right now, snapshot situation, it is not looking bueno. You know what also just... you know what's looking kind of bueno is the Mag 7 options flow. We popped, we're holding, not really dropping. So I would say neutral, favoring the bulls. The S&P 500 did take a hit after a pretty nice pop. So small drop, big pop up until 947, took a hit till 951, starting to climb once again. So options flow, I would say favoring the bulls. Momentum, obviously bullish, 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 bullish. Looking at the NASDAQ, same thing, bullish, 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 bullish. So momentum, price momentum is bullish on all four time frames for both the S&P 500 and for the NASDAQ. Looking at options flow, that's more so bullish than it is bearish. Looking at the daily structure, we're at an all-time high, so by definition, that has to be bullish. I don't see a reason to be bearish right now. I see that some people are calling for some sort of reversion, but like, they seem very silly when we're at an all-time high. And I suppose you could just do that thing of saying it. If you say it every single day, well, of course, eventually we're going to have a red day and you could say you were right. But it also inherently means you missed out on the entire pop to the upside. So when people make either bullish or bearish statements, if they say that without a time frame associated, like what utility is it? I mean, I could always scream that I'm bearish and just bearish, 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 bearish. But doesn't matter without a time frame, I could always scream that I'm bullish. And I guess technically in the long run, we know the bulls win in the overall market. So you could just generically say you're a perma bull, and that would actually still be somewhat statistically astute. But we'll see. We'll see. Oh, I like some of these trades right now, but I'm just afraid to enter, especially because we're now 5 minutes out. 5 minutes out. Here's the, you know what? Speaking of being 5 minutes out, let's switch it to the 5 minute just so we can get an idea of what in tarnation is going on. Whatever the intraday high is for SPX, SPY, ES, that is the all-time high. I do want you guys to be mindful of that. Microsoft seemingly having a good day. Google having a good day. Nvidia is now popping, so that should be helping some of the movement we see over here. Oh, man, I wish I was in on this. A quick run to 25,900 flat, but I can't. I just don't want to trade right now. I just want to be waiting. All right, potential technical breakout right here on Palantir, trying to recapture all of these EMAs. It is a higher low, so if this starts to break and run, you're looking for a breakout and continuation above 195. There's an upside gap fill to 201 and some change. So Palantir looking good. Let me throw that up. Yeah, Palantir is looking nice right now. Palantir is looking nice. As I was joking about yesterday, it seems as if Venezuela is learning why Palantir trades at a 100+ PE ratio, all that secret stuff they do. All right, we're waiting. We're waiting patiently. Do you guys do any? Come on, be honest. How many of you D-gens in here already have a position on before the announcement? Be honest. Be honest. I want to know which side I should be cheering for. Right now, I don't have any active day trades on, but I just want to know who in here is already like, you know what? Wednesday, January the 7th, we're going to make it a magical hump day. I just want to know who in here is so degen that you're already throwing out your trading New Year's resolution. Me, I'm in. Me, just went short. Me, my whole account actually. Jesus, my whole account. Me, bullish in, have open orders. Not me. Long at 47. Going long. 5 NQ contracts long. SPY calls degen. Speaking of degenerate, I've been trading during overnight. Took VWAP long at open. All right. We're going to be finding out soon, folks. We're going to be finding out very, very soon. Actually, in fact, in 2 minutes. Let's see if they are going to get our boy Rick on. Where's Rick? Dude, if they don't give us Rick, we're going to have problems. We're going to have problems. Why can I not up the volume? Is it because nothing is playing right now? All right. Well, going into this 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour, 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour, all price momentum is clearly bullish. I think that is important to note going into this. I'm just updating this chart a little bit so we can see it a little bit more clearly. Looking at options momentum, the Mag 7 is bullish and the S&P 500 was bullish, giving some back. So I would say maybe neutral right now by the time. I mean, technically from open to here, it is positive, but it's very quickly coming back to neutral. So I would say the S&P 500 is neutral. The tech sector, Mag 7, specifically the subsector of the tech sector, the Mag 7, very evidently bullish. So bulls are in control, especially if you look at price structure. Just looking at the daily chart here, we're at all-time highs. Here's the Qs. That's looking strong. Even Bitcoin's starting to pop back around. So I think this is the bulls game to lose, but you never know what the data's gonna be. And we are 30 seconds out. So I'll leave that up. But if you guys want to watch that real-time reaction here, I'll throw up the 100-tick chart, which is super degenerate, but it's kind of the fastest way to see what the hell is happening and what the hell isn't happening. Let's see, let's see, let's see. I deeply believe this is the bulls game to lose today. We are 5 seconds out. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Well, first reaction bullish, quickly faded. First reaction bullish, then faded, and now starting to climb and then hit again. So we've gone red, green, red, green, red. Is the next one going to be green? All right, let's see what... Oh, there it is. Just took that hit, unfortunately, for the bulls in the audience. What in the world happened? What in the world just happened? The market not liking it on first, but remember, we've seen a lot of fake outs. So, okay, where are we? Jolt's job openings, way less than anticipated. And the services PMI and prices expanded even more than anticipated. I'm surprised. I'm actually surprised about this because the weak Jolts number should increase the odds of the rate cut in January. And the fact that the market reacted bearish to that, I'm a bit surprised. I'm looking actually to see if this dip is about to be bought. All right, where's our boy Rick? Rick will tell us the truth.
With Rick Santelli.
Yeah,
Rick.
Rick's in chat, folks.
Well, let's start out with Jolts. I have a feeling this is going to be the most important number of the morning on job openings. Expecting a number around 7.6 million. Buckle up. 7,146,000. A huge miss. And a big downward revision in the rearview mirror from our last look at
VWAP on NQ is 805. We're trading at 821. Maybe we're going for that VWAP bounce.
So the new read at 7,146,000, that would be the smallest jobs opening since the end of 2020. Now, let's look at the ISM picture on the services side. These are PMIs. On the December read, 54.4, much better than expected. That'll be the strongest read of the year. We'll find a stronger read. You're going back to the fall of last year. Now,
maybe
let's look
we're getting
at the
that VWAP bounce,
component,
folks.
An area we'd like to go down a bit. And indeed, a little less than expectations. 64.3, definitely less than 65.4 in the rearview mirror. 64.3 be the lowest since March of 25. On the new orders front, 57.9, a whopper of a number, much better than expected.
A whopper of a number.
57.9 be the best since September of 24. And on the employment front, considering we had 41,000 on ADP, big jobs report Friday, this number comes in at 52. It popped above 50.
So the services were good. They expanded and expanded higher than expected.
52.0 would be the
this
best
dip
read
is because of the
since
Jolt
February
job openings, less than anticipated.
Sorry, folks, it doesn't end there. Get comfortable. Here we go with factory orders for October, minus 1.3%. That's a big miss. You have to go to June of 25 to find a smaller number. Strip out transportation, a huge improvement, but still negative. Minus 0.2. Minus 0.2 would be the weakest since April, minus 0.6. Now let's look at durable good orders, shall we? Durable good orders coming in at minus 2.2, exactly as expected, and doubling up exactly the read we had last month. So we are not looking good there. The last positive number was September when it was up 0.7. But do remember, we had May when it was up 16.5. That was a historic pop.
VWAP is down here at like 806. This white horizontal line.
It not only improves...
The yellow horizontal line is the POC, the point of control. That's where most volume's been traded.
And that would be, well, last month was up 0.2 to give you an idea. And that now becomes, there is a revision there. It becomes 1/10. Now, let's look at capital good orders, non-defense, ex-aircraft, a proxy for capital spending. And that comes in at... up that's up 0.5%, That's a nice gain. And you look at shipments up 0.8%. So those numbers are pretty decent. After all of that, what do we see? We see deterioration in the equity space.
We got close to VWAP.
Interest rates
within 6 points. We're seeing some life now.
I'm very impressed that the market isn't much lower on interest rates. Looking at that weak jolts because the labor area of the U.S. economy seems to be the area the Federal Reserve's paying closest attention to. Sarah, back to you.
Sarah,
I'm just digging in a little bit. It looks like the layoffs level and the JOLTS number was a little bit lower than expectations, and quits was a little higher.
We're right at that closing value, so we might just have this double bottom support. Once again, just the closing value from yesterday. We're still technically green.
And strong ISM, and that
looking for this
helps,
recapture of 50,
side.
this bounce from here.
Yeah, really strong ISM there, as Rick reported, 54.4 versus the 52 expected. Thank you, Rick Santelli. And I'll just add a few more sort of good news items, I think, to the list on today. We did get
Here's
ADP,
a look at
as
options
Rick
flow.
mentioned, and
It's gotten
yes, the
beat up
headline was
since
a little bit weaker than expected.
9:46. And it took a clear hit at that 10 a.m. JOLTS report, but the Mag 7 is holding. So even though price took a hit, and yes, S&P 500 took a hit, there was put buying, more so there was call selling. And I think that's important to know. Are we going down because of an increase in bearishness or a decrease in bullishness? And technically there was a slight increase in bearishness, but I'm really focusing on the fact that people just sold so many calls. So maybe they were selling to open, maybe they were selling to close. Regardless, it is removing positive gamma from the system. So to me, that's kind of a weak reason to go down. And then I'm still seeing strength in the Mag 7. So people are, if anything, kind of using this as a dip buy opportunity. They're still buying the Mag 7 there. So maybe we just get one of these classic bounces right off the closing value. So we're at a key pivot level, a key psychological level. I would by no means be surprised if we're bouncing right from here. NVIDIA is still showing strength. Palantir taking a baby hit. What else do we have going on? Google showing strength. Tesla actually even popping itself a little bit right now. Microsoft getting a little bit of a pop. Amazon actually holding. Apple still sucks. Oh.
Order filled.
What are we at? All right. I'm throwing in a trade on my smaller accounts. These guys over here just to see if I can get my scalp play in for the day. I'm trying to grow these 5 little guys slowly but surely. So just trying to trade with trend, trying to see if I could play this reversion on the S&P 500 right here. It popped, it dropped. I'm getting in, and theoretically I could just ride this up. But once again, just a little basic scalp trade for me just to show you guys what's happening. It should be these accounts right here. Basically, I'm targeting these recent highs right here, right here. Not going too crazy, just trying to trade with the trend. We crossed the EMAs, we bounced off of VWAP. I identify this as trading with trend. And like I said, just trying to get a basic scalp in. I'm trying to slowly but surely grow these accounts. So if I could hit this, then I really don't feel the pressure to trade those for the rest of the day. Of course, if I see a good opportunity, I wouldn't mind trading them again. It's more so just to get the trade day in and ideally get one solid scalp in, but we'll see how this plays out. NVIDIA is going. Definitely keep your eyes on that. Microsoft was looking decent too. Palantir is not really catching its footing. Meta is actually taking a hit. Avago. So semiconductors are catching a bid right now. Interesting. Semiconductors are catching a bid. How are we looking over here? Mag 7's looking strong. S&P 500 did get hit, but now ever since 10:03, a little bit of a pop. So are we getting the 10 a.m. reversal where it got hit, we based, people overreacted, and now we're going to be popping? Time to tell. Matt, is the 25K account solid? I don't think so. My favorite account is the 50K account, and I think the second best account is the 150K account, and that's honestly just run-of-the-mill rudimentary analysis of your risk versus your profit target. I deeply believe, well, it's not even believe, like just look at the math of it. The math of it does suggest the 50K accounts are the best accounts. Once again, looking at your profit target, looking at your risk, looking at how many contracts you could trade. And then I would argue another one that's in that top tier is the 150K accounts. I don't think any of the other accounts are even really worthwhile to mess with. But once again, those are my own opinions. And maybe you look at it of what's best for you in your trading in a slightly different way. So maybe you care about different numbers for a different reason. But for what I see and the numbers that I care about, it is very, very, very much. Hang on. It is very much the 50K and the 150K. And also, I guess that's not like a out there statement. That's not like an out there opinion. That is kind of like a widely held opinion. Where's Bookmap on this?
Order filled. Order submitted.
All right, throwing on some long trades on my main accounts now. Or when I say main, I mean big. I shouldn't call them main. They're all my main accounts. I want to make money on all of them. I'm watching 65. I'm watching 75. We'll see how this goes. Oh, SPY taking a little bit of hit. Don't necessarily want to see that, but I am still seeing strength in the options flow for the Mag 7. I was really hoping that SPX would get going above 692, or excuse me, SPY above 69232. This is the high from yesterday. But I'm seeing strength in the NASDAQ. So I'm seeing strength in NVIDIA, Avago. Semiconductors are catching a bid for sure. For sure. The question is how much of a bid? And things are getting a bit whippy. A bit whippy, if you will. I just want to be realistic with my risk. Give it some room to breathe where I'm not just getting unfortunately tagged out, but also not so much room that it's taking on unnecessary risk. Remember, my first target is at 69 on NQ, and we're currently trading at like 63 or whatever. Here's a look. My first target for the quote-unquote smaller accounts is right here, 69. So I'm not even trying to be greedy running it up to that 75 level. I'm just targeting a recent technical high on the intraday chart. And those are long from 57. 57 to 69. So just going for a quick, slightly more than 10 points, 11 points. So just going for, it's $200. If you trade an NQ contract and you get 10 points, that's $200. And I'm more than happy to slowly but surely grow my accounts like that. And it should be locking in somewhat soon here. Come on, lock it in. We got close. We got close. I see sellers at 75. So like I'm front running them by 6 points. Like
Order
there we
filled.
go. Boom, lock that in. So like I said, my goal for these accounts, when I say smaller, it means they have a smaller amount of buffer. My goal is to just slowly but surely grow them, kind of like a brick by brick situation. So that's what I'm doing. If I see another opportunity to get another 5 points, 10 points, I might take it. But for these accounts, I'm very much, I suppose, babying them, if you will. So 200, 200, 200, 200, 5 accounts, $1,000 locked in. And then on the accounts where I have a bit more buffer, I'm long at pretty much the same value, but obviously I have more buffer, so I have a little bit more leeway to see if I can catch this trend up to 6,900. So we'll see. At a certain ATR movement, average true range, obviously I'll be moving my stop up to break even to take all risk off the table. As of right now, I'm taking on some risk, but we'll see. I'm very much hoping that this low at 48 can hold. We're going to see. I'm kind of using this breakout bar here at 10:06, but calm, cool, collected. Don't need to really do anything crazy with it. I'm not liking how SPX is still getting hit because that's kind of dragging down what we see here in the NASDAQ. Mag 7 is still strong, but SPX is still showing a little bit of weakness. Ooh, I did not realize this, and I definitely do not like it. At ES, 5-minute testing, 10-minute testing, 30 minutes bullish, 4 hour is still bullish, but I don't like how this 5-minute is testing. NASDAQ on the other side, bullish, bullish, bullish. So when you see this mismatch, one of them's right and one of them's wrong. And I don't mean that like exactly. What I mean is one of them is going to revert to agree with the other one, especially given enough time. And knowing my luck, one's bullish, one's bearish. I generally end up picking the wrong one, so I'm hoping that's not happening now, but we'll see. The fact that I am seeing some weakness here in the S&P 500 makes me want to almost more aggressively move my stop to break even, just in case I have picked the wrong one. I picked bullish on NASDAQ, where right here you might be saying, I want to pick bearish on the S&P 500 due to this breakdown. So when I see that mismatch, it makes me a little bit antsy. Obviously, with the NASDAQ, I am tracking the strength in NVIDIA, Avago. In a general sense, I'm tracking the strength in the semiconductor sphere, which is kind of helping the SPY. Obviously, something else is selling off. Energy is getting hit. financials are getting hit. Those are not tracked in the NASDAQ. So that's why the SPY on a relative basis seems weaker. Financials are clearly getting hit. I mean, from open until now, they have not stopped. This is kind of fucking it up for me.
Order filled.
All right. I'm just going to cut it just because I really don't like this. I just cut it because I don't know how bad this is going to be. So I locked in a small loss right there, survivable. So I locked in 1 scalp gain on the smaller accounts. I try to give this one a realistic shot, and it looks like it's actually kind of getting hit. I wonder, is this a play back down to VWAP?
Order filled. Order submitted.
51. We'll move that to 55. I'm wondering if we're going for that VWAP test. Wondering if we're going for a little bit of a VWAP test. We're right at the 1 minute 50 EMA on NQ. But seeing this trend line breakdown, this was 12, that's 10, that's 11. What is this one? This is 12, 1250.
Order submitted.
We'll throw that order in there just in case this is a reversion. Just in case. On a sweep of 32.75, I'll probably move my risk to 46. And then on a sweep of 27, I'll move it to break even. But something is up right here. I'm getting nervous about this ES breakdown. And of course, it could be a fake out. We could come right back around. And obviously, that note would be on a recapture of 6987, 6987. But I'm wondering if they want to retest VWAP because we've just seen that play so many times. Even right here, where are all the big players? They're trying to buy at VWAP. So that's exactly the play that I just put on. Right. It's now a freebie play. Maybe I make money, but the worst case scenario is break even. This might be a better risk for right now. It didn't hold below this. I know I said 27, but we just poked below it. We're not holding below it. Come on. Break one more time. Go to 20, go to 20, go to 20. Go to 20, 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 20, 20, 20. I want to see 20. Come on. I just want to take all risk off the table. Fuck. Is it going to bounce early? We're going to get smacked here. What are we doing? Where are these players? They're still there. A lot of people at this VWAP level trying to buy right above VWAP. Actually, what level are they at? They're at 1250 seemingly. So I'm going to go up to 13. I'm going to front run them a little bit just in case. Just in case. Fuckers. Are they going to pop this first? Oh. I don't like that I'm against this overall trend. It's just we've been seeing the VWAP retest so many times over the past couple days. I figured why not try to take a slight advantage of it, but maybe that was not what I should have been doing. How do I want to manage my risk on this play? How do I want to manage my risk on this play? I need this little pop right now to get smacked. Look at XLF just getting annihilated. Is it gonna get smacked? Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, no, maybe so. Once again, VWAP is 25,811, a little bit of change. We're seeing a heavy amount of buyers coming in at 815 and 812. This is what I'm watching. That's the zone that I care about. There we go. I just want to get my stop to break even, which probably realistically I could do if this sweeps 27.70. We're showing some strength right here. This is getting a bit whippy for my liking. Let me zoom in on this. All right, so we have a lower high. Just take this out. This low, this low. If we could take this out, and then obviously if you take out 2250, that's this recent push. VWAP is right there. It's this white dashed line. That's kind of where we're seeing quite a few people step in. And of course, it's popping right now. Some people are now stepping in the low 20s. It looks like we have some buyers at 21. Fuck, we just popped. Oh, we just popped. Do I want to bail on this? I might bail on this. SPX options flow just got a pop. That's what just happened. Some buyers came in. Let's see if this fails or not. Cool, calm, collected. Just never taking on that much risk. I'm trading one contract, not doing anything too degen of just adding into a loser or anything like that. You never know what the next set of buyers are going to do. But what literally just happened, this pop here at 1021, the S&P 500 Delta popped. I'll show you that in a second. I just need to be...
Order filled.
All right, let me get rid of that.
Order
we
canceled.
Might be reversing.
Order filled. Order submitted.
All right, playing this reversal. Back in line with the overall movement right here. Bullish, bullish, bullish. I was trying to play that VWAP. We just didn't get there. That trade did work for the past 2 days. So for this week, it worked. And then today is the first day it didn't work. But I'm wondering what happened was right here. This was the change. It was going down and down and down until 1020. And then what you had was people getting out of their puts and getting into a small amount of calls. That was the measurable change of that pop that we just saw to kind of recapture some of these EMAs. Let's see. All right, let me switch this up to the 1 minute. Let me switch this up to the 5 minute. 1 minute is still bullish. Yeah, I'm not a big fan necessarily of what I'm doing right now because I'm trading when momentum is mismatched between the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. So not necessarily my favorite environment because you just don't know which one's going to win. You don't know who's going to be victorious. But we're going to give it a second. We're going to do our best to see flow. Mag 7 taking a slight downward turn ever since 1012. S&P 500 potential. There was a flow alert at 1015. We seemingly bottomed at 1020. Let's see if this is actually the low of the day or if we're going to be going up from here. The 1 minute on the S&P 500 is bearish. The 1 minute on the NASDAQ is bullish. And that mismatch is true on the 5 minute and the 10 minute as well. So right now, from a price momentum standpoint, it's mismatched. These are just not, in my opinion, a favorable trading environment, especially when something funky is happening in XLF. This is the financial subsector of the S&P 500. Remember, financial plays are not in the NASDAQ, which is why the NASDAQ is holding so much better. In fact, it's bullish, and we're seeing NVIDIA do well. So NVIDIA is in both of these. It's in the SPY and the Qs, but obviously that upward movement in NVIDIA and in Avago is not enough to undo the hit that the financial sector is taking and the hit that the energy sector is currently taking. So right here, XLK is the tech sector. You can see tech is actually on a relative basis looking really, really strong. I'm just waiting for some sort of, I guess, agreement from all of these. Waiting for some sort of agreement. What is the current intraday high? 70.
Order submitted.
All right. Fuck. Just right when it was oh wait, the high is what? 80. Just when I thought we were starting to pop, we're really just going range bound. So we did get that nice movement for the first 15 minutes of the day. Green, 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 higher highs, higher lows. You could even argue the first 20 minutes of the day, higher highs and higher lows. And then ever since then, just range bound. So I would say the NASDAQ as of recent is best described on an intraday basis as lack of trend. You're kind of either waiting for either this breakout or that breakdown. And then the SPY, it did pop, and ever since 945 trending down. So just the XLF, this is the culprit right here. And it's obviously not being helped much by XLE either, but it's the financial subsector that is proving to be a massive pain in the ass. Proving to be a massive pain in the ass. With respect to flow, the SPY is unfortunately slightly turning down again, and the Mag 7 has been, after a nice pump, has been kind of giving some of it back ever since 10-12. So patience, 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 looking for financials to stop getting sold, but what's kind of saving us right now are semiconductors. So NVIDIA, Avago, probably AMD is even up. Really, it's just SMH, the semiconductor sector, is looking good, saving what you're seeing over here on the Qs. An interesting play in my book would be a recovery on the SPY above 692. And then obviously, you know that I'm looking for the NASDAQ to break out of basically 625. But we'll see what happens. What's kind of interesting to know is SPX. The closing value of yesterday, 6944, pretty much 6945, is also the 1 minute 50 EMA. So that's going to be a key level to watch. So it's exciting for it to take out 43, but 45 would be, in my book, like the real technical breakout. So obviously paying attention to that. Let me just draw a couple of trend lines on my chart. I do currently have a long position on NQ because I'm basically just playing strength, strength, strength. I tried that little reversion. We didn't hit VWAP. The VWAP play worked on Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. So this is the first day of January, actually, that the VWAP play did not, quote unquote, play out. All right. I'm trying to unload one of these at 70. Trying to unload one of these bad boys at 70.
Order
there
filled.
We go. Unloaded at 70. Other one's going to break even. It's now a freebie play. So I cut my realized loss in half. I have another runner that if I were to get out here, I would be green on the day. This is just risk management. Obviously, I would have a higher odds of being able to ride this if I left my risk down here at this recent swing low. But just based on what my trading system tells me to do, Icarus, especially on sweeping that high, is telling me to move my stop to break even. Of course, 54.75 is a pretty odd level. I wish I got in at a better level, 50 exactly, or 49. Just so I wish... Really what I wish my long was at 49, so I could just put my risk at 49.50 or 50 and be protected by that psychological level. But alas, I was a little bit too slow to get that entry, so it is what it is. If I were a bit faster, I could have managed this a bit better, but that's on me. That's a learning experience. I was able to lock in there and stops break even. So like I said, I cut my loss in half and I have a runner. The runner's at break even. If the runner runs, great. If it doesn't run, it's a bummer. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a bummer when it doesn't work. Of course, every trade you want to be like an amazing, phenomenal trade. But whatever, tough tits. Sometimes it just doesn't work. Sometimes it just doesn't work. The intraday high is 80, so I want to see us take that out. And then obviously I would love to see what's happening at 900 flat. Here's a look at where the big money is right now. They are targeting 85. So we have some sitting pending sell orders at 25,885. So we'll see how this goes. Man, I really wish I had a slightly better fill. Somewhere just below 50 would be fucking golden right now. Golden right now, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I get lucky anyway. Maybe I get lucky. I know I say this to you folks every single day, but that's my job, is to remind you this is just a game of risk management. You never know what the next bar is going to be. If you're just banking on miracle, magical, oh, it's going to work for me, and you're taking on undue risk, yeah, it might work, but eventually if you keep doing that, one of these times it's not going to work and the entire game's going to be over. This is nothing but a game of extreme risk management. Extreme risk management. Oh, whoa. Hang on. Can you guys see this while this is happening? Check this out. We just got tips from Paulo, the CEO of Tether. That's awesome. Dude, talk about the big bucks today, the big wigs. We're talking to the CEO of Rumble, dropping some Rumble rants via crypto, and also the CEO of Tether, Paulo. What a day. I feel like that's good enough vibes that means this trade has to work, right? That it has to work. Dude, shout out Chris, shout out Paulo, CEO of Rumble, CEO of Tether. Folks, the Goonie trading people, we must be doing something right. We must be doing something right in here. All right, I'm watching. Remember, 80 is the intraday high, right where my cursor is, and then 85 is where we see a small batch of people willing to sell, and then the big batch of people is all the way up here at 900. Big batch of people is up here at 900. And we might be off to the races. Remember, my stop's at break even. I don't know if it's going to work. Obviously, no one knows if it's going to work. What time is it? 10:32. So we're almost at the initial balance. Remember, the initial balance is just the 60-minute Orbo, which it looks like we are about to be cracking. We are about to be... Oops, sorry. My bad. Clicked on the wrong thing. That's the second time today. Send me to the gulags, folk. Send me to the gulags. La ta da da da. La ta da da da. La ti da da da. All right. Okay, if you are in the Discord, Piper just fired, so you can get an idea of above and below values and general momentum. So we'll see that. The SPY did take out that level. Interesting. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Let me see what I can do today. Let's see what we can do today. What do I want to trade today? Dude, this might be actually a really good trade if they let it go through. If I can get a fill on this, this actually might be one of my favorite trades in a hot minute. This might be one of my favorite trades in a hot minute. Come on, get a fill. Get a fill. Fuck it. All right, I'll take a slightly different trade just to get the position. Oh, wait, what? No. Oh, I'm messing this all up. I'm messing this all up, folks. Oh, and now it's going without me. Wow, I butchered the hell out of this, folks. And I somehow fucked it up again. What is going on today? Dude, I am at a loss of what the hell is happening in my account. I don't know if I'm getting my position or not. Where are we actually? I should be paying attention to this. Oh, that's cool. We're hitting 900. I'm up almost 50 points.
Order canceled.
Sorry, I had to stop at 2, which is what I did the other day to fuck
Order
myself up.
submitted.
Anyway, stops at break even. We're just watching some extension levels. I am dumbfounded. Orders working. What the hell is happening on my account here? All right, let's see if this actually can work. I'm really just butchering my orders. I don't know if it's going to go or not. If it completely goes, I'll let you go. Oh, wait, did it? No. I don't know what's up. In Discord, when I get the full fill, obviously, I'll let you guys know. I should probably be paying a little bit more attention to this. We just hit the IB high, the initial balance high right there at 880. We overshot it to 900. Don't be surprised about a little bit of a pullback that I think is somewhat reasonable. And for me, do I just want to trade the chart and ride the trend and just keep tracking the recent lows? Do I want to do $1,000 on the day? Do I want to put my stop at halfway? Do I want to put my stop here? How do I want to do this? Right now, the question is kind of easy. Like, your stress levels magically disappear as soon as your stop's at break even. So for me, I am down 350. So I kind of want to move it up to 75. I can move it up to 70, 75, something like that, because that would ensure that my accounts are net green on the day. Of course, if I get out here, I'm up 400 on the day. But if this goes, if this is just a breakout runaway, something to consider. Where's the 1 minute chart? I'm looking at this 77, 78 level. Maybe I move it to 74. We're at 92. Am I protected by anything? So it looks like some people are trying to sell at 916 and 920 is what I'm seeing. 916 and 920 up here. I'm seeing some support come in at 86. Some buyers there, some at 85. The point of control is all the way down here at 57. Ooh, decisions. Yeah, people are here. Ooh, whoa.
Order filled.
What the fuck just happened? All right, this is why you have a stop for break even, folks. What in the world was that? There has to be news. Something had to just happen. Newsfeed. All right, going to truth. Something just happened, and this right here is why you have protective stops. 53 minutes ago. Is anyone seeing news? It's not True Social. It's not an update from Trump. I'm not seeing breaking news. This is why you have protective stops. What? I'm not seeing news. Are any of you folks seeing news? What in the world? That was a 90-point drop. A 90-point drop just like that. What in the world? We hit VWAP. I mean, I guess technically the VWAP trade did work. It was probably the most funky VWAP trade of all time. What is happening? What in the fucking world was that? People are quickly buying it.
Order filled. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted.
Oh, what in tarnation just happened, folks? What on God's green earth is going on? Well, I'm hoping to unload one of these, which almost hit. We hit 74. I'm trying to dump it here at 75. It got really close, but other people are selling it at 75. What the fuck was that? What? NVIDIA Chinese news. All right. So people are saying NVIDIA Chinese news. So maybe a little bit of an overreaction, it seems. So I'm still happy I protected myself. I feel like that's the way to do it because you never know if the sell-off is going to persist. Unfortunately, in this situation, it did bounce right back. New rumor from The Information. Chinese government this week reportedly asked some tech companies to temporarily halt plans to buy NVIDIA's H200 AI chips. China asks tech CEOs to halt NVIDIA H200 chip orders. China tells companies to halt H200 chip orders. The Information. So it's, I guess the publication is The Information. And it took a hit. We bounced up. We're giving a tiny bit back right now. What in the world was that? Seems like a lot of just rumor BS, if you ask me, but let's see how the market actually reacts to this. Obviously, this is the bar of reaction, so I very much care about the high and the lows of this bar. But more importantly, we should probably be watching NVIDIA exactly. NVDA right here. All right, so here's NVIDIA. This is the reaction. 190.46 all the way down to 188.77, and it's pushing the lower bounds of that, unfortunately. Had a little bit of strange equilibrium. What the fuck? Strange. Super strange. What's a real bummer is I was super close to getting out of my one contract so I could move to break even, and it got within a point. You guys saw that I was trying to get out at 75. The high was 74. I was off by a point from getting a fill. That's a bummer. All right, is this like legit breaking down here? What the fuck's going on? What's going on with options flow? I might just bail on this position. Look at that. That's some funkiness for sure. Mag 7 still holding. Yes, it took a hit on that. This just shows the power of news and people overreacting to it. S&P 500 took a hit on that, even had a flow alert. Where's NVIDIA? NVIDIA. Right there. That's the news. Boom. 1038. It seems a little like bullshit to me, but let's just see. Let's see if everyone's overreacting or underreacting. Let's see who's reacting properly or improperly. I'm watching closely over here. Let's see if we can fine-tune some of these entries, some of these exits. Let's see what the hell is going on. Look, if NVIDIA recovers, I'm expecting everything to recover because the news is directly related to this. So if it can push 190, 190.50, great. we might be in a little bit of issues if it starts to drop below 188.50. It looks like the recovery is underway right here. I'm seeing the Mag 7 still hold strength. The SPY, after that flow alert, is starting to pick up. I'm fortunately almost back to break even. Once again, I'm trying to dump one at 175. But now, if we do recover, I almost wonder if I should up the target. First, decrease risk.
Order filled.
Never mind. Too slow to react.
Order
all right,
canceled.
whatever. Lock some in. I was thinking about moving it up to 185, 190, but whatever. It locked me in. It is what it is, especially in this high vol situation. So once again, just eating away at that initial loss from just kind of the dump that we got caught up in, or I got caught up in this morning. So we'll see. All right, I finally did get a position made. I don't know what the hell happened with this position. A lot of weird orders, but if you're in the Discord, I'm putting in my thick trade right now. I'm putting the trade into thick trades. Where is it? Thick trades. Had really weird issues with this trade's execution for entry. All right, whatever. But I'm in that position, and let me manage the profit on this. Okay, cool. We're looking good. A little bit of craziness, but we're popping anyway. This right here, this is like, honestly, legitimately, one of the best examples of why you need to have protective stops, because you never know when something crazy is going to happen. Now, for me, I could have withstood that because I had buffer, but many traders don't have the buffer that I do. And that dip, even though you were right, price is already back and you would have been green, that could have blown you out. This is why you, like, I'm telling you folks, like, I promise you, if you are having a tough time in your trading career, especially active day trading on the sim to funded like world, I'm telling you, maybe if you're already not doing well, what's the harm of you at least trying the style that I'm pitching to you? What is the harm of, hey, it moves a little bit in my favor, I'm getting a fill anyway, I got knocked out on break even, it didn't cost me anything. Obviously, for me, I could have held that. I honestly might have even been better off right now. But who knows? If it kept going, I really would have protected myself. So even if you were long, if you didn't have buffer, this movement blew you out. Your accounts are probably gone just because of that unrealized drawdown. And even if you have the big buffer, and let's say you're like, no, I could have withstood it. Well, what if it just kept going? What if it was like legit bad news and we just actually kept selling off? So like, think about it that way. Assume the worst case scenario. Actually, speaking of that, I need to go to break even now that I'm pitching you guys on the best way to do it. It's just a better way to handle this situation. It truly, truly is. Truly is. So for me, maybe this rips, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. My stop's at break even. I'm net green on the day. I'm down. So if I move mine to, I want to get my stop to like maybe, I don't know, 78 or somewhere around here, around 80. I want to get my stop up there because that ensures I'll be net green on the day. And then from there, I just don't give a shit. I just don't give a shit. Like from there, I got my $50, which is really at this point because I'm not at the point where I can take the full payout. I'm at the point where I can only take a 2K payout every 8 days. So for me, I have obviously far more than 2K buffer. So my major goal is just to make $50 of profit because that's actually in this 8-day cycle. This is my 5th day of green. I've traded for 6 days. So this would be my 5th day of green. So that means if I lock a day in today, that's above $50, which I could literally do right now. That would ensure, as long as I don't blow out my account Thursday or Friday, tomorrow or the next day, that would ensure that I could take another $30,000. So that's my main focus. And if I'm down 200, let's say I need to make 250, 70, just I'm doing some quick math, 76, 70, 79. Okay, my real goal right now is to move my stop up to 79. I just need one more little follow through here, because as soon as the stop's at 79, if that gets tagged, I'm still net ahead by $50 on each account, and that's all I need today. And then all I can do, if I want to, I could coast Thursday and Friday. I don't even need to have green days anymore. I just need to have not blow out the account days, and then I'll get another $30,000. Just waiting. But, or if this is a hit, it's a hit. It's a small hit. Honestly, I should probably move it up to 69 just because I'm seeing that low. But like I said, what did I say? 79? I could probably just do 79 now. Fuck it. You know, as a guy who's trying to pitch risk management, so no matter what, I'm goaling. If I get unlucky and the market turns from here, I'm still going to be up net 50 on every single account, which is my 5th green day in 8 days, and it's my 6th trading day. So that means I just need to trade Thursday and Friday, just even getting in a scalp trade, and I will be absolutely golden. Absolutely golden. So we're just coasting it out. SPY, strong recovery. Mag 7, strong recovery. XLF still getting hit. So NVIDIA's pretty much had almost a full recovery from that whole kerfuffle. Apple's still sucking. I need to keep checking that. Palantir's looking great. Microsoft's looking great. Google is doing nothing now. Tesla's curling back up. Meta, after getting hit, is maybe curling back up. Avago's looking good. AMD is actually looking decent. ASML not doing much. Walmart trying to recover. Netflix getting hit. Oracle trying to curl back up. DJT trying to curl back up. SoFi curling. Hood, nothing. MicroStrategy, pop, hit, trying to recover. Coin, trying to recover. Hut is looking good. CoreWeave is looking good. Open's looking like shit. IONQ looking good. Qubit's looking good. Iron, nothing. Oklo, good. Texas Roadhouse, very strong. Rigetti, very strong. Ripple, hit. Solana, hit. ETH, hit. Bonds are bouncing a little. Oil's recovering a little bit. Okay. Where was rum? Rum got hit right there at 9.55 for some odd reason. I wonder what happened there. All right. Where was Apple? Apple, come on. I just need Apple to really pop here. I need Apple to really pop. Folks, reminder, if you want SIM-to-funded trading, yes, I'm trading on Apex and FFN right now, but I'm always going to tell you who's currently running the best deal. Right now, Take Profit Trader, great deal. Use that code Goonie, 40% off, never pay an activation fee. FFN, use that code Goonie, 50% off, BOGO, and no activation fee. So 50% off, buy one, get one, no activation fee. So both are very solid options. Code Goonie, Goonie, will work on both in real time today, Wednesday, January 7th. These are the most financially affordable deals given the firms that I personally trust. Mag 7's popping, S&P 500's recovering. The structure has gotten choppy. Looks like 960 is still the main thing. If I had to have a major upside target on SPX today, it would be 960 followed by 6990. So I'm watching 6960, 6990. Of course, there's levels in between that, but those are levels clearly of importance. Clearly of importance. We're feeling good. I'm feeling good today, dude. This trade's going. I'm up almost 50 points. I'm long at 66. My runner is up about $800, putting me net 600 on the day. I obviously have a locked-in loss of 182, and I don't mind those trades. I still think they were good trades. I could have been a little bit quicker, like just for a little bit of self-reflection and a little bit of self-criticism. I could have been a little bit quicker to cut them, but for the entries, in like the general sense of why I was placing those trades, hey, I'm honest with you folks. When I make like shit trades and I'm upset about them, I'm actually happy with the trades. I'm really happy with the risk management. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm not necessarily in control of how this plays out, but my stop's already at the place to give me $50 net across the accounts. And what I would love to do is use 90. I want to move it up another 10 points, which will give me another $200. So on this breakout of 911, the current intraday high, I'll be moving my stop up to like 89.90, and that will ensure that I'm up by like 250 on the day. Matt, can you hold your breath for 3 minutes underwater? I doubt it. I could try. I don't know if I've ever tried in my life, but it seems like a fun challenge. So like kind of why not? Seems like a fun challenge. Why not? Where's my 1 minute? I usually use the 1 minute here. Little dip there to the 10 EMA. I don't mind that at all. I would actually like to use that as my risk. Come on. I just needed to like get another leg higher. One more leg higher. I just wanted to take out 911. Just take out 911. I'll move my stop even higher. Worst case situation is I'm green on the day. So at this point, we're just playing for Skittles to see if we can grow the buffer even more. But other than that, I did exactly what I needed to on the day. Exactly what I needed to. If you somehow miss this play, here's an interesting breakout trade for you. Bounce off of 900, takes out the succession of lower highs, potentially starting a new trend. Your risk is either, you could just risk 97. So that's not a bad trade at all. It's a 10-point risk. You're taking the breakout of 907, risking 97, and you're looking for a test and a break of 911. And obviously you're trading with trend across the board. So solid potential opportunity. Obviously you'd be patient. You have to be patient to wait for that actual break. But like I said, my eyes on SPX are drawn to this node at 6960. We're currently trading at 6951. So if you ask me, we have a nice 9 points of upside, which is on the SPY about 90 cents. So that'll bring us to halfway through 693. Halfway through about 693.40, something like that. So that is 100% where my eyes are being drawn right now, right here, 6,960. The trade is about to happen. The entry signal is about to happen. Would I be? Hang on, where's the 1 minute? Yes, I'd be very interested in that trade if I did not already have a position. Yeah. I definitely would be interested in that. 90, 906, 907, 908. You're risking 97. I would be highly interested in this breakout bullish trade. Well-defined risk. You're trading with trend. It's a decent time of the day, 11 a.m. I would be highly interested in that. And if we break and hold that, did Icarus? Yeah, actually, literally, Icarus just fired because we exceeded 908. So Icarus did technically fire right there. It did technically fire. Obviously, I didn't take it because I don't need to be trading more contracts like I have over the past couple days where I've gotten absurdly lucky and borderline tilted every single day. But it is what it is. But yes, Icarus fired right there. I think technically 907.50 or 908, something like that. Right on these wicks to the upside on the 1 minute. Looking strong, looking like nothing. NVIDIA giving some back, but the SPY looking good. The Russell got hit this morning, starting to recover. Bitcoin, all right. Here's the flow, Mag 7 strong, SPY recovering. I showed you this. We don't need that anymore. Are we missing any other news? If it's not clear, I'll make it really clear. Rumble Wallet will compete directly against Coinbase and Venmo, but we're not custodial and we cannot shut down your account. It's true financial freedom to buy, hold, and tip crypto, built and backed by Tether and Rumble. That is awesome. Sweet. Congrats to the team. Congrats to the team. The rating has begun, led by the CEO of Tether, Paulo. He was in here, PRDN. Shout out. That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. Right here, BTC bomb incoming. That was us. We were the BTC bomb. So cool. Graham Allen. You have Chris going on there this morning. We're getting the breakout. Looks like Icarus is right again. All right, so I'm going to ensure that I make myself a little bit of money. I'm moving the stop up to 90. So no matter what, I'm making 24 points, about 500 buckaroos. And I need to see where some of these levels are at. Oh, pretty evident level, 35. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to watch 35. What was that? Right there. Okay. This line is where people are setting up to react, and then we have buyers down here at 890. Let's see. Instead of trading P&L, let's see if we could trade the chart. Let's see what the charts are going to be giving us today. I'm curious, is this going to be an immediate rejection, or is there going to be so much buying aggression that we blow through it? Similar yesterday at 735, kind of that midday, we saw another big line, except it was bigger. It was 500 contracts, and we had a tough time getting up to it. But when we did, we kind of like were, I don't know, hammering away at it. And then all of a sudden we cracked it. And then that led to a rip all the way up to, above 800. It was like 820, 830. Looks like some people hopping in at 25 here. So we're watching 25 and 35, currently trading at 918. Let's see how these people behave. Let's see. Are we going to take them out? Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, no, maybe so. The question is price action the U.S. Delta Force, and is 25 and 35 Maduro? Or are we about to swoop in the middle of the night and take them out? Let's find out. Stay tuned. Stay tuned to this episode of U.S. versus these sellers. We're going to take them out on a date. What are we doing? 25, 35, now even a little bit at 30, 60, 40, and 70. Buyers down here at 890. Kind of a wide spread, a 35-point spread. Oh, notifications. What are we getting? Lots of notifications. Lots of notifications. Not only is your account safer from third-party pressure, hang on, movement. We took them out. We just tagged 25, and we haven't busted through it yet. We just tagged it. We're starting to fill those guys, but let's see. Let's see. There's 55 more trying to be sold right there. Are we going to take them out? Take them out. Come on, let's see one big green circle. Oh, 120. Oh, they're sizing up. They're hitting us with the Kansas City shuffle, folks. They sized up to cause the rejection. So we got up here. They filled 33 of them, but then there was 50 left over, and then they added another 60 to it. So it jumped, after getting a fill of 33, it jumped from 50 up to 112. So someone's adding size to sell at 25. Now, they might be selling to open or selling to close, probably most likely selling to close on this run up, but that is not definitive. That is not definitive. So let's see. Let's see. Are we taking them out? What's everyone's best guess? Once again, you should never be randomly predicting like this in the market, but while we're here passing the time, I figure it's a little bit of fun. Do you think this guy's going to get busted? Are we ripping through it? Or do you think this guy's going to hold strong and actually get it rejected? Or third option, do you think they're going to disappear and pull the order? What do you think? Busted, strong, weak, or disappear? Those are your three options. Strong, weak, or disappear. We're about to test again. The fact that they just added to it makes me feel like they're not going to disappear. Are the buy orders on Bookmap at 25? Is that how it works? No. Why would you buy at 25 when you could buy at 20 right now? These are going to be sell orders. If it's above, it's sitting sell order. If it's below, it's sitting buy orders. If it was buy orders, it would have hit right there and it would have pushed it higher because it would have been sitting pending market buys. Oh, tagged it. They filled about 10 of them. 75 actually, and then more ended up there. So someone has secret size. They're adding into it after getting some of these fills. Someone has some secret size, I must say. The Battle of 925. Oh, golly. We tagged it. They were there. We ran up into it, tagged it, got rejected, ran up into it, ran up into it. Are we going to do it again? Are we going to do it again? How aggressive our buyers are. Right now, they're left over with 87. After we filled a chunk, there's been about 100 filled right at that. Well, no, I could see it. 44 right here. Here's the volume transacted right there, 44. So 44 have been filled exactly at 25. Obviously 57 below that, 19 above. So like in total, we're talking about like 150-ish, but exactly at that 25 level, 44 have been filled. But once again, that's exact to the tick. So some above, some below. In total, we've probably filled a couple hundred up in this zone. But at this point, it almost makes you wonder, are we going to see 26,000 flat today? Are we going to see 26,000 flat today? It does make you wonder.
Order filled. Order submitted.
All right, those are just for the small buffer accounts. I'm just kind of messing around and trying to play this 25 level for a little bit of a scalp. That's not for the larger accounts by any means. Not for the larger accounts by any means. But we are waiting forever. And then from here, we might have a whole nother battle up at 935. So even if we take out 25, which I think is confident based on current momentum, and look at this upswing here, we might have a whole nother battle 10 points above. We might have a whole nother battle 10 points above. Patience, 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 patience. Okay. We saw that. We saw that. We saw that. We saw that. Cool. Okay. I don't think we're missing anything on that front. Are we missing any other breaking news? The only major news, you might have saw that weird sell-off intraday today. And right now, that sell-off is seemingly perfectly correlated with some weird NVIDIA news from a publication called The Information, where they reported that, I guess, China as a government was asking some of the people buying NVIDIA chips to not do so. And it kind of messed up the market for about, 5 to 10-ish minutes. But that's outside of the scheduled JOLTS job reports. I suppose that was also interesting. At 10 a.m. today, the NVIDIA news was later, but at 10 a.m. we got the JOLTS job numbers, and it came in 500,000 light. That definitely caused the market, especially the financial sector, XLF, that's the financial subsector of the S&P 500, to take a bit of a hit. But yeah, just so you know, just in case you're not watching the update video tonight, tomorrow we are getting the normal initial jobless claims. And then on Friday, that's the real show when we get the unemployment rate and the non-farm payrolls, once again, 8:30 a.m. ET. Well, we just got a little bit of a pop there. Ooh, they're starting to pull the order. It's the sitting orders there are starting to get pulled, telling me that we're about to pop through and go up to 35, or at least within that realm. But right here, you can see right at 11:09, it lightened up, as in the amount of sitting pending orders there became less. It was 100, now it's down to 37. So 2/3 of the size disappeared right there. So you never know what they're going to do with it. Of course, they can move it up. They might have moved it up to 30. They might have moved it up to 35. They can market order, and sometimes that could cause it to hit. They could be like, you know what, screw this. I'm just going to market order, and that could hit the market. So you never know what's going to happen with that position. All I can tell you is the sitting pending orders at exactly 11:09, like, clearly lightened up. And it started to lighten up right as we started to move to it, which is kind of interesting. Kind of interesting. Oh, how do I want to do this? Taking a little bit of a bounce right now. A little bit of a reversion, but we're kind of pinned now. Not much is going on. Not too much going on. Looking for that break of 25 and the movement to 35, which is kind of what I'm watching in the top of your screen up here. So need to take out this. This is becoming maybe kind of an influential node, but once again, that's all with respect to NQ. On SPX. Most likely 69 to 50 will act as a psychological level. I get that, but in terms of where the big money is at, we don't actually see that much big money at 59.50 today. We're seeing more at 60. So as I've kind of already pitched you, my main interest is 60, followed by 75 in terms of my major upside targets, especially considering the bounce that we've had. So yeah, maybe you want to watch the intraday high, which is at 57. So that's kind of within spitting distance of that first major target. And then from there, if we get that bullish exuberance and that follow through, I'll be looking for that push up to 75. So that's kind of how I see the things today. Maybe you see it completely differently. Maybe you agree. Maybe you disagree. I have no idea. I'm just letting you know that's how I see things. Spoofing, definitely not spoofing. Definitely not spoofing. Oh, let's mark out some of this stuff for important continuations and reversals. Kind of watching Bitcoin sitting at 91. The Russell showing a little bit of weakness. Nvidia right here at 1035. That's where that news came out. And we haven't fully recovered, but we also haven't broken down. So it's just kind of like awkwardly settled. Tesla's having a decent day. Google went flat. Microsoft is actually having a really good day. Amazon's having a decent day. Apple's flat. Palantir's having a good day. So the ones that jump out to me, Amazon, Palantir, Microsoft, all on a 0 DTE basis, are having pretty solid trends. Pretty solid trends. Oh, we just took out 25. Right there. We just took them out. So a little bit at 30, but really my eyes are being drawn to 35, which is exactly why I have a sell order at 34 on some of my accounts. I'm front running this literally by a point because, hey, I saw the battle that we had here. So why, I don't know, I'm hoping that we can knock through this wall without a problem. It's not the biggest wall in the world, and I'm just not messing with this because it's almost 11:15, and I would love to be done on the day before lunch even hits. Just lock everything in, and I can, I don't know, maybe go do something healthy, like go to the gym or something like that, positive with my life. We'll see. We'll see. Overall, we're looking pretty good. Do I just want to sell there? I'm tempted to. I really, really am.
Order submitted.
I'm really tempted. We broke through one wall. And honestly, I think there's a real good chance that we continue above this. And actually, in fact, I'm talking about like 26,000, I think, is in the cards today. I think with respect to the correlation with SPX, there's still that real chance at running at 9 more points. So yeah, I think there's opportunity. And I'm not saying that's the high of the day. I'm just kind of thinking about what I want to do with the remainder of my life for the day. And if I could just lock in my profits now, hell yeah, you know, like just make my life easy. Make my life easy. I'm green on the day. If I lock this in, that's over $1,000, dude. We're looking good. We're looking good. I just want this little ditty to hit. We're still kind of struggling at 25. Still, we got above 25. It's deepening here. The liquidity at 930 is deepening a little bit. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Oh, a little bit of, so I just wanted to take out 30. Quick pop to 35. Fill me at 34, and I can move on with my life. I could go be a couch potato for the rest of the day, something like that. Bullish, 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 bullish. Mag 7 strong. SPY weakening a little bit after a pop up until 11:03. Oh, come on. I should have already ended the show, but at this point, I don't want to end the show right before the overall conclusion on you folks. We're just waiting to see if that 35 levels hit. It's just kind of painstaking sideways right here. It's been sideways ever since 11:12. Actually, it's been sideways for even longer. It's been sideways since 11. So I'm making it very easy. There's no like real big brain specialty analysis besides the fact that I see in aggregate they're trying to dump 92 contracts right at 35. So my plan is to dump my position a point early at 34. Oh, trades are hitting the tape now. They're fighting back. Got smacked at 39. Someone had a little bit of a market order there. And they're still having a little bit of a market order. Golly. Just tag 19. Oh, this is getting to the point of watching paint dry. Well, I suppose you guys know my position. I'm long at 66. My stop's at 90. So worst case situation, I'm making 24 points. I'm making $500, which will put me net up 300 on the day. On the flip side, this profit target of 34 might get hit, which means I'd be up about 1,100, something like that, roughly, give or take a little bit. So I'm either making $300 or I'm making 1,100. Those are the two options. I'm either making some money or I'm making more money, and that's it for me. So obviously these are my favorite types of trades. These are my favorite type of days where the worst case situation in this one isn't even break even. This worst case is my account will be green. So the only leftover question is how green will my account be on the day? Obviously I'm hopeful for 34. That would be sick. But in the worst case situation, which I could probably at this point move it up even more if I really, really wanted to. But you know what? For the fun of it, I might just leave it where it's at. So I'm making money today. It's just a question of how much money. So these are the levels, but things are starting to dramatically slow down. You'll know I'm not moving these. If I do move it, I'm just going to move my stop up to 95, guaranteeing me an extra 100 points or something like that. But that's the only thing I'll move. I'm not moving my profit target. It's just going to sit there at 34. And the reason for that is I'm watching this. I see that we have buyers here coming in at 9:15. That's interesting. There's some sellers at 9:30, but most sellers are sitting here at 9:35, which is why I'm front running it by 1 point. Folks, before I let you go, don't forget on FFN, currently running one of the best deals, code Goonie, 50% off, buy one, get one, no activation fee. Also on Take Profit Trader, code Goonie, 40% off and never pay an activation fee. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video, or you could just go to the websites and use that code Goonie. I will be posting an update video later on today, right after market closes, around 6-7 p.m., something like that. So make sure you have on your notifications. I really think you guys are going to enjoy those videos because it's me summarizing all the important things throughout the day and what to pay attention to the next day. So check those out. Obviously, wherever you're watching this, you can watch those update videos. It's completely free. And then we will be streaming once again tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. bright and early. I wish you the best of luck. I hope you've made a buttload of money today. And if you're currently actively in trades, remember, risk management is the first, second, and third, and fourth, and fifth most important skill in the world of trading. If you manage your risk, you will be okay. That's what I have for you now. I'll catch you later on today, and then once again in the stream tomorrow. Thanks for all the good vibes. Peace.